I live in Calabasas, California. My name is Kourtney Kardashian. I'm 42 years old. I believe in taking care of myself and a balanced diet and a rigorous exercise routine. I wake up every morning and show gratitude. I'll look at Travis and say things like, "I just love you so much, baby." Jack and Sally, Sid and Nancy, Bonnie and Clyde, Mickey and just Minnie. It's us against the world, baby. We ride at dawn. Then I get out of bed and put on my slippers. I turn on my playlist and I just vibe out for a second before my day just gets so crazy living life. I take upwards of 22 supplements every damn day. Immunitox 500 for my beta-glucans, True Niagen for cellular health, vitamin D3 and K2, and of course, my Dragon Herbs 8 Immortals. I dry swallow all of them. I follow this up with apple tea, meditation, and just deep breathing before I come up with the Poosh word of the day. Then it's time for Pilates. In the morning, if my face is a little puffy, I'll just use my gua sha and I'll put on my DMH anti-aging mask before I get on the reformer and do my leg lifts. I can literally do 1,000 now. If you can believe, I have my 12th drink of the day after Pilates. Then I remove my DMH mask and begin my skincare routine. After I apply my AGRESTAL Beauty Turmeric Clay Mask, I use my AGRESTAL Rose Hydrating Oil, followed by my moisturizing oil. I always use a toner with just clean ingredients and little or no alcohol, because alcohol dries your face out and makes you look older. Could you fucking imagine that? Looking older? Just getting older in general? I'm spiraling. There is an idea of a Kourtney Kardashian. Approved. Some kind of abstraction. But there is just no real me. Only an entity. Something just like illusory. And though I can hide my cold punk gaze, and you can shake my hand and feel flesh gripping yours, and maybe you can even sense our lifestyles are probably not comparable, I simply am not there.
What are you doing here? I thought I told you never to come on this property again.
Hey. Poosh.
So, are you excited for Poosh Your Wellness 2022?
Kourtney, I am so excited. I have been all over the place.
Well, guess what? It's all about future you.
You're kidding.
So it's perfect. It's like future body.
You're looking at future you right now, girl.
Exactly, I am. It's future body, future mind, future self-care.
Future self-care.
Your favorite.
Absolutely, it's my favorite.
It's future skin, Future happiness.
I'm happy right now, Court.
I am so happy. I feel you.
Show the rock. Queen.
Future sex.
Sex. I love sex. Gay sex.
And it ends with my favorite thing that I do at night.
And mine.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
A cacao ceremony.
A cacao ceremony. So get ready to just push your wellness 2022.
Push it, baby.
Hello everyone, my name is Liz and I'm from Obey Fitness. I'm so excited to kick off the Poosh Your Wellness Summit with this 15-minute power sculpt class. You don't need any equipment, but you can join me in leveling up with resistance loops. Let's get started. Go ahead and just take a nice wide stance, roll the shoulders back, get nice and tall. We're gonna turn 10 toes out to the side wall and get nice and low into a plie squat. Now send your arms out to the sides. Make sure you relax your shoulders. We flex the palms. Start to pull slow here. Into the legs. I always say knees over toes. It's my mantra. You really want to make sure you're keeping your alignment. So knees in alignment with the toes. Flex the palms so the arms are activated. Reach the heels of the hands for the side walls. So good. Starting to feel that burn already. Ooh, in 4, in 3, in 2. We start to add a little circle with the arms. Tiny circle forward. Gorgeous, everyone. Starting to feel the glutes and the hamstrings burning, maybe feeling the inner thighs activating. You're doing it all right. Give me 4, in 3, in 2, reverse the circle, I know. So what is Obey Fitness, you ask? Obey Fitness, it's a network of live and on-demand classes. It can be done anytime, anywhere, on any screen. Go ahead and lift all the way up. Arms lift all the way up overhead. And back down into that squat. Way up, up, up. And back down into the squat. A little bit quicker here. We go up. Take it low. And here at Obey, we have this amazing library of over 7,000 on-demand classes to offer. That's right, I said 7,000. In 20 different class types. So at Obey, you're never gonna get bored. You're always gonna find something that you want and that you need. Give me 4 more right here. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Beautiful, 4, 3, for 2. Last time we hold it down low. Check it out, palms face the front. We pulse forward. I know legs are burning out, I'm here with you. Chest is pulsing. Keep the arms open. Yes, y'all. Give me 4. In 3, in 2, and 1. Go ahead and stand it up. Parallel the feet. Soft bend in the knees. Send the palms back behind you. Send the torso forward. We pulse up here. Pulse it up. 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 We really love to mix it up here. I teach all of the things at Obey. I teach Sculpt. I teach Ride. I teach meditation, cardio, boxing, dance. Like I said, you'll never get bored at Obey. Last 4, give me 3, give me 2, and 1. Go ahead and roll the shoulders back. Shake it out for a second. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Once again, we take a wide stance. Arms out to the side, taking it into side lunges. We're gonna spiral the torso. So left fingertips come to right toes. You bend into the right knee. Lift the left arm way up above your head. We go 2 knee drives. Yes, let's try that again. We go down, 2, we lift up. For 2, we knee drive 2. And set it up again. We go down. Bend into the knee, lift way up overhead. 2 knee drives. Cross that knee over to the opposite side. We bend, lift up. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Beautiful, y'all. 2 knee drives. And take it out, out, out. We bend. Even here, the knees are over the toes. This is some standing core work, as well as some glute and hamstring work. I'm feeling it. take it. 2. Set it up again. 3 more, let's go. 2 knee drives. Awesome work, y'all. Make sure you're using your breath, especially as we have to find some balance. Super important, because if you're not breathing, you're probably gonna fall over. We don't want that for you. Bend into the knee, way up, 2 knee drives. Last one, big spiral, lift up, 2 knee drives. Shake that out. We gotta do the other side, right? Other side, way up. Find your stance, let's find that rhythm. Let the rhythm find us. Way up, 2 knee drives. Gorgeous, y'all, set it back up for 7. And lift up. This sculpt work we're doing involves a lot of repetition, almost no weight, right? Just our body weight. So we can burn out the muscles. Lift up, 2 knee drives, really cross it. Hey, get into that beat. 2 knee drives. And lift back out. Give me 3 more. I want you to send the hips back like you're sitting in your throne, honey, okay? Way up. Into. Sweating already, are y'all? Last one. Way up. Gorgeous, amazing work. Shake that all out. We're gonna grab our mat. We're gonna grab our resistance band. Resistance loop. Now, like I said, the resistance band is just a level up option. You can always do this without, okay? No drama. No drama. Well, a little bit. No unnecessary drama, okay? Loop that band right above your knees, not on your knees, not under your knees, right above your knees. And we're coming down to the left side. I want you to activate through your side body here so you're not just like chilling, watching TV, okay? You're activated here. Take the left leg or the right leg right out. Knees are in alignment with each other. Cute, little circle. This is one of my faves. Here at Obey, I'm always doing this side leg series, and I'm always like, this is tough every time. So be excited, because you're taking on a challenge today. Last 2, reverse the circle right here. Keep the core engaged, keep the shoulders relaxed too, okay? This is not cute. We wanna be elongated here. Give me 8. Show me 7, beautiful for 6 and 5. Ooh, 4, feel it already. 3, and 2, and 1. Bend the knees in, take a big deep breath. On the exhale, draw the knees a little bit closer in toward your body. We bring 2 hands down to the mat, all right? Push the floor away. We start to hug the knee in here. You lengthen the leg as you bend the elbows, and you push the floor away, bring the knee into the chest. Yeah, let's try that one more time, slow. Down, little coordination here. So it's like a little side push-up, down and up. Let's go. It's power sculpt, baby. Adding a little bit of speed, a little bit of force, a little bit of momentum into our sculpt moves. I'm feeling that burn in my side leg, starting to feel the chest. I'm here with you. Really straighten the arms every time. Gorgeous, y'all. Give me 4. Let's go. Give me 3. For 2. Last variation. Check it out. Hold that leg out. Try to climb it all the way around into a tabletop position, right? You're on all 4s, really all 3s. Lengthen the leg even further out. Point the toes out toward that back wall. Press the floor away. You got all that? Okay, cute. Little pulse right here. Come on, pulse it up. Sometimes that band gets tricky and it rolls up on you. But try to keep it right above the knees. We tap all the way down toward the ground. We tap it down, down, and up. Tap it down, lift it up. So good. I love this drama in the music. Don't you love when the music gives you a little drama and you're like, okay, this is pushing me to go a little harder. Give me 4. Yes, last 3. Last 2. We hold it up. Last variation. Bend the knee in. So you bend the knee, heel curls in towards your glutes. So strong, y'all. Keep the leg parallel. That means the knee is still pointing down toward the ground. Last 4. Last 3. Woo, last 2. And last 1. Gently let it go. Let out a little scream, as I always say at Obey, because we're done with that side. Let's switch it around. Other side. Set it up the same way. Lengthen out that left leg. Take a breath. Little circle. I told you I teach meditation here, so sometimes I'm just like, you gotta take that grounding breath. We offer it all here. So you'll always feel challenged and you'll always feel changed. Go ahead and reverse the circle right here. Stay activated in the obliques. Give me 8. In 7, 6, beautiful. 5, last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend the knee in. Take a big deep breath. Big exhale, bend the knees in a little bit closer. 2 palms find the mat. We pull the knee in toward the chest, right? Like you're ready to like pounce. And lengthen out, bend into the elbows. We lift up, lengthen out, bend into the elbows a little bit quicker for 12. Wow, 11. Feeling this, 10. Amazing work, y'all. Almost done with this leg series. 6. Push the floor away for 5. Yes, it's like that side push up, getting into the chest muscles here. In 3. In 2. You guys are rock stars. Gently let it go. Oh, keep the leg out. All right, we're crawling around to that tabletop position. You got it? Did you get it? Did you get it? Okay, pulse it up right here. Let's go. I love a pulse. Feeling the muscles working even more, feeling the glutes burning. Yes, y'all. Give me 4 more right here. Last 4. It's 4. In 3, we tap all the way down and up. We tap it down, down, and up. Full range right here. Keep the parallel position. Getting into a little core work after this, y'all. Awesome work so far. You know, sometimes you just have 15 minutes. We offer a lot of different time formats here at Obey. If you have a lot of time, we have our hour format. But we have so many express classes here, which are just 10 or 15 minutes, just like this one, in case you just have a quick break from work and you're like, okay, I gotta get in. Last one here. Bend the knee in. Heel curls in toward the booty. That's honestly one of my favorite things about Obey. Because even when I have like those office days where I'm like sitting at home doing my work, I'm like, listen, I need to move my body for a second. Throw on a little yoga, a little sculpt, a little cardio boxing, and you got your sweat in for the day. Give me 4 more here, last 4. Ooh, for 3, feeling this last 2. Last 1. We showed up to feel it, y'all. Gently let it go. Get rid of that Obey resistance band or whatever resistance band you have. Mine is Obey brand. And swing it around. We're laying all the way down on our backs, right? Try to make your lower back make some connection with the floor, right? So you're not arching your back off the floor. This is cute for like other things, but here we're just gonna find a neutral pelvis. Lift the shoulder blades up off the ground. We have a little pulse here just to activate the core. Keep it up. Give me 8. Last 4. In 3. Right knee hugs in toward the chest. Left leg extends out on an angle. Really curve the spine. Yes, hollow out the core. Give me a little rock. Little rock. Modification here, you can bend that other knee if it's tough on your hip flexor, but I want you to just keep rocking here. 5 seconds. In 4. This is called a hollow hold. This is a little modification for it. Go ahead and switch legs. 30 seconds. Let's go. Y'all, we are rounding out this workout. You should be so proud of yourself for showing up. No matter how much time you have, you can always get a little sweat in. It shifts your day so amazingly, you know? When you get a little bit of movement in, it's enough to change your whole day. Give me 5. In 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and roll yourself up to sitting. Magic trick. Go ahead and take it all the way around. One last plank to finish this out together, y'all. Set it up properly. Wrists are stacked right underneath the shoulders. Step it out to that high plank. Ooh. If you're modifying your plank, you can just bring your knees down to the ground. No problem, no big deal. Keep pushing the floor away. Just like in that tabletop position, we have less than 20 seconds, y'all. We can do it. We got this. Squeeze your booty down in line with your torso a little bit more. Oh my goodness. Give me 5, in 4, in 3, 2. Pike the hips up to downward facing dog. You can hop or step the feet into the hands or the hands into the feet and roll it up. Amazing, amazing work, y'all. Thank you so much for joining me today. Be sure to look out for your post-event swag bag email to claim your free trial to Obey. I'll see y'all in class soon. Bye.
Hello, Poosh. I'm Jessica Ortner. I'm a New York Times bestselling author and creator of the Tapping Solution app. And today, you're going to learn tapping. Tapping, also known as EFT, is based on the combined principles of ancient Chinese acupressure and modern psychology. Clinical studies have shown that when we tap on these acupressure points, it decreases cortisol, often known as the stress hormone in your body. What you're doing is you're sending this calming signal to your brain. So you're tapping on your body and it's sending a calming signal to your brain, letting your brain know that it is safe for you to relax. So since our time today at Poosh Your Wellness is dedicated to helping you create a future that you're proud of, we're going to do a tapping meditation to help you clear the blocks to manifesting your dreams. The way we manifest and create the future we want is by taking action in the present moment. But too often, stress and fear and even overthinking can keep us stuck. We find ourselves procrastinating or simply hesitating. We try to stress ourselves into action, and then that leads to burnout. So let's get started today by thinking about what you want to create in your life. Maybe you've been inspired by this event to change careers, or you want more financial abundance or greater health. Think about this goal and just take a moment to visualize it, imagine it. And one part of you is probably feeling really good. Feels good to think about these dreams. But sometimes when we sit with these dreams, there is this other part of us that might be saying, yes, but, and then some resistance comes up. So it would be like, yes, but I never stick with anything. Yes, I want that, but it's harder for me than anyone else. Or maybe there's some other thought that comes up, like it just doesn't happen for people like me, or this would be overwhelming. Notice the yes, buts. Yes, I want this, but what comes up for you? It's important to honor the resistance and not just try to bury it down. So take a moment to really think about what's in the way to creating what you want. And if you need more time, you can always pause this video. And as you're tuning into that feeling, notice that resistance. And I want you to measure that resistance on the 0 to 10 scale. So 10 being very resistant to your dreams, you feel really stuck. 0, you're ready to go. You feel like you're aligned with your dreams. 0 to 10, how do you feel? So let's take a nice, gentle, deep breath in together and exhale. And we're going to start tapping on the side of the hand. And it doesn't matter what side of the hand you tap on. So repeat after me in your mind or out loud. And remember, we always want to start by bringing up the thought and the emotion that we want to clear. So tapping on the side of the hand, repeating after me. Even though part of me is resistant to creating what I want, I honor all of these feelings. and I allow my body to relax. I hope that you're tapping along and repeating after me. I know it looks a little strange, but give it a try. It really works. So again, on the side of the hand, even though part of me is ready to take action on this dream, and another part of me is scared, I honor all of these parts of me, even though I've been having some resistance. And I've stopped myself from taking action. I recognize I'm just trying to keep myself safe. And I'm willing to relax now. Great. Eyebrow point. Now, this is where the hair of your eyebrow begins. I like to tap on both sides, but you can tap on one or the other. So repeating after me, I imagine what I want. Side of the eye. Part of me is ready. Under the eye. Another part of me feels resistant. Under the nose. I've been disappointed in the past. Under the mouth, part of me is scared to get my hopes up. The collarbone point. So I've been holding myself back. Under the arm, this is an arm width from your armpit. It tends to be where your bra strap lies. I acknowledge any fear and resistance. Top of the head. And I'm ready to begin to let it go. Now, tapping back on the eyebrow point, you don't have to say anything out loud. I just want you to allow yourself to reflect on these words. Think about moving towards that dream. Maybe you feel good about it. Or maybe you notice that you've been holding yourself back a little bit. Maybe you've been procrastinating, entertaining some doubts. Just be present with whatever comes to mind. Now on the side of the eye, notice how you can be present with your thoughts while allowing your body to relax. Relaxing more with every tap. And as you tap, it's easy to realize that we don't have to believe everything we think. We don't need to hold on to every emotion we feel. That as we begin to relax our body, it's easy to take a step back and have more clarity. Under the eye. Sometimes we're scared of being disappointed. But failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of it. It's about giving ourselves the freedom to try, to discover what works and what doesn't work, to acknowledge that it's safe for us to take action. And with action comes more clarity. Under the nose, what does it feel like to release the stress and pressure around this dream? Notice what it feels like to be led by your heart instead of your head, instead of that overthinking head. Notice what it would feel like to be led by curiosity and excitement. Under the mouth, see yourself releasing any stress or tension in your body. What does it feel like to have a dream but release the stress? Collarbone, feeling present and strong in your body. Connect with your heart. Your heart beats on average 100,000 times a day without you even asking it to. Your heart supports you. Your body supports you. And life supports you. Under the arm. And as you allow your body to relax with every tap, you can better connect with your own desires. Just take a moment now, and if you'd like to, you can close your eyes and just imagine what it would feel like to achieve this goal. Step into it. What do you hear? What do you see? Who are you celebrating with? Top of the head. Imagine looking back and realizing that it was all worth it. The work and the faith. Feel that feeling of pride, feeling proud of yourself, that you had the courage to try, feeling proud that your desire was stronger than your fear. Now tapping on the eyebrow point, repeat after me. I align my energy with my desires. Side of the eye. What I seek is also seeking me. Under the eye. Feeling led and ready. Now tapping on the eyebrow point, repeat after me. I align my energy to my desires. Side of the eye. What I seek is also seeking me. Under the eye, I release any pressure or tension. And I feel led by love and purpose. Under the mouth, I may not have all of the answers now. Collarbone, but every step leads to more clarity. I take action and have faith. What I desire is already on its way. Take a deep breath in as you gently stop tapping. And just notice, just take a second to notice how you feel. Does it feel safe to dream big? Do you feel more aligned with your desires? Now think about that old resistance. Remember we measured from 0 to 10? Check in and what's your new number? Now, from this place of feeling more aligned with your desires, I want you to ask yourself a question. What is one small action step that you can take right now that will bring you closer to your dream? Maybe it's reaching out for support, finally finishing that resume, listening to another presentation on Poosh, calling a friend and talking through your dreams. What is one small action step that you can take that will bring you closer to that desire? Write it down so you can take action after this video, because that's what manifesting is. It's faith and action. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. You can come back to that anytime you want to align your energy to your desires. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much, Poosh. I hope our paths cross again. Until then, take care and keep tapping.
What's going on? Poosh Your Wellness. My name is Shambudram. I'm a public-facing sex and relationship educator who wants people to be more competent and as a result more confident in the bedroom and beyond when it comes to their intimate relationships. You might have seen me before on Netflix's Too Hot to Handle as a sex and relationship educator there, or on my show Sexology with Shambudram. Hopefully you've listened to my award-nominated podcast Lovers and Friends with Shambudram. But just all in all, if you've never seen this face before and you don't know who's talking to you, just know that I am somebody who is deeply passionate about making the average person feel excited about their intimacy and their pleasure potential. Okay, so we're here to talk about your sex life, how to get the most out of your sex life using 3 different verticals: for your mind, for your body, and for your future self. So let's talk about your mind first, which often when it comes to wellness really should be top of mind. So I came up with something called turn on triggers a few years ago because, like many of you, I was blown away and so grateful for the work of love languages. So turn on triggers actually comes from a similar brainchild in that when you are partnered with somebody or when you have devoted yourself towards sexual wellness, if you are somebody who enjoys your sexuality, then you probably do want that. But there's different ways to activate somebody's sex drive. There's different ways to communicate to somebody that your sex drive is activated to try to get them on the same page with you. And we should be made aware of those differences. And so turn on triggers is really and truly for people who are in longer term relationships. And that could be with yourself too, or it could be with somebody else. But it's an acknowledgement that when something is new to you, when you first get together with somebody, you don't really have to do a lot of work to get turned on because you are on the chemical cocktail roller coaster. You don't really have to do much to get excited to be around that person. Your brain is doing all the work for you. But when we move from a passionate point of view from a relationship into a companionate point of view to a relationship, that chemical cocktail starts to slow down. And now it's not just when that person walks by or when we see them that we get those exciting, arousing feelings. We now have to actually be very intentional. And this is when the roller coaster turns into a car. Now somebody has to get behind the wheel and turn that bad boy on and figure out where to go. And you've got to steer and direct. And yes, it's a little bit more work, but I actually think it's beautiful because it's an opportunity to get to know that person on a deeper level, hence the term companionate love. And also too, it allows the two of you to be honest about what you need in the bedroom, and as a result, giving you more potential to try new things. I've identified 6 different turn-on triggers. The most obvious one is visual. People who enjoy porn, for example, might be visually stimulated. So for them, after seeing their partner a few times, that might wear off, but what might turn them on is seeing their partner displayed in a sexual costume or seeing their partner position themselves in a sexual way. The visual is what turns that person on. Then you've got people who are mental. These are individuals you can also call sapiosexuals. What they require is a conversation first, an opportunity to feel like they are here with the other individual before their body can even open up. So if I know that I'm dating somebody whose turn-on trigger is mental, before I try to make a move on them because I feel my body is ready today, I would say, how's your day going today? You know what? There was this really interesting thing that I read I would love to get your feedback on, and I would invest time in a meaningful dialogue. Some people require desire. What gets them going and what turns them on is knowing that their partner specifically desires them. And this isn't loose language like I'm horny. It is very directed language like you make me so horny. And it is oftentimes coupled with words of affirmation, giving compliments that make that person feel like they're wanted and make them feel sexy, and as a result, open them up to the idea of being sexual. Then you've got people who are the negotiators. Not everybody deeply prioritizes sex in relationships. And it doesn't mean that they aren't showing up for it or they're not interested in it. It just means it's not top of mind for them. So for a negotiator, what often needs to be done is another act of service. And so it might be like, I can tell you had a stressful day, so I'm gonna take your car, put some gas in it, clean up the house, draw yourself a bath. Afterwards, I would love to massage you and see where things go from there. So you're giving that person incentives that they actually truly value so that they have the space to give you back something in return that you value. Then you've got the cat and mouse. Many people require a little bit of a chase. So it's important to know this turn on trigger, especially if you find you're the person who's constantly initiating sex in your relationship to no avail. And you can get really frustrated, your partner can get really frustrated, but what you really need is to back off a little bit. Because what turns them on is having to work for it or having to make you work for a little bit. The perception that there is still that risk and reward factor, that there is, again, that game that goes on. That's what turns them on. The last turn on trigger is environmental. This is probably the most popular one. I have a quiz online you can actually take to figure out which one is yours. It's on thegameofdesire.com. It's been taken by over 100,000 people. And I strongly believe environmental is the most popular answer. And those are individuals where the senses have to be pleased before the body is open to pleasure. And essentially that means don't come on to me when there is dirty stuff all over the place and I can smell your socks in the room. Don't come on to me if we haven't showered first. And if you really want to get things popping, light a little candle. Make sure the lighting is right. Play the right kind of music. Set an environmental mood that makes me feel sensual so that sexuality becomes a pleasurable choice. All right, up next, let's talk about sexual wellness, sexual optimalness, how to have incredible sex when it comes to your body. And for this section, I'm bringing along some friends by all of our friend, which is Dame. Dame is a leader in the sexual revolution. And in short, what they do is they provide sexual toys as well as resources for people with vulvas and their partners. We're talking about orgasm in this section, which can be a hotbed topic and for many people a triggering topic. And what I think is so fascinating about orgasm is we can't gauge from one person to the next what our experiences are like. So maybe one body can achieve orgasm 7 different ways from 7 different points, but the person who can only achieve orgasm from one way has a more powerful experience in the one way that they do. Without further ado, let's get into these hot spots. The nipple. Have you heard of a nipplegasm before? Some of you may have never heard of a nipplegasm before, but you've had one before. And the thing about nipples is important to know is that this is an all bodies orgasm. People with penises and people with vulvas are just as likely to be able to achieve a nipplegasm or extreme pleasure as a result of stimulation of the nipple. So a tool that can be really great for nipple play. One, you should ask the person or ask yourself how you like stimulation. For some people, it's pressure. For some people, it's a little bit of pain. For some people, it's a light sensation. Some people like jiggles. Some people like licks. If you're somebody who finds yourself enjoying a vibration, I highly suggest Dame's Palm. It is squishy. You can use the tip if you have a very sensitive, just the areola. You can use the flatter side if you want the entire nipple and areola and a little bit of the breast itself also receiving vibration. You can decide, how much you want, how little. It's squishy so you can press in or you can ease out. The nipple in general is great for assisted orgasms. So if you are somebody who achieves orgasm clitorally very easily or gets a lot of pleasure from that, using this as a secondary tool while you are receiving that can actually help to enhance what you already love. Next, let's talk about the A spot. One of my favorite spots. I actually discovered it for myself about a year ago. My partner discovered it on me, but I had begun to do research on it because I thought that I was someone who didn't enjoy deep penetration, but what I found is that deep penetration that wasn't focused on a specific area I didn't enjoy, but deep penetration that focused on my A spot I did enjoy. So what is the A spot? The A spot is short for the anterior fornix, and essentially that means the archway that surrounds the cervix. And so there is a hotbed of nerve endings that goes all the way around, but majority of the time when we say A spot, we're talking about the little fornix area, little archway area that is towards the belly button. So for example, you would need to use a longer toy that's narrow or a finger preferably the middle finger of your partner, of yourself, and then you're going to go all the way up as far as you can and then press forward. The anal orgasm. So in the last couple of years or so, we've definitely opened up the dialogue for people with prostates around the joys that can come from anal play. Number one, it gives a sense of fullness. So if you are being doubly penetrated, you can access parts of the A spot, the posterior part of the A spot if you have a deeper penetration or deeper thrust in there. But in general, the fullness that you will get from stimulating the pelvic floor can be really, really pleasurable. And on top of that, the pudendal nerve, which can be easily accessed through the anus, actually travels right to the clitoris. And so again, with an assisted orgasm, clitoral stimulation along with anal play, it can be something very magical for a lot of people. It can also be something very not magical for a lot of people if you don't go slow, if you're not listening to your body, because the anus has to choose you. You don't choose when you go in the anus. It has to let you in. Your body has to be completely relaxed and in a state where you've got two muscles. The first one you got control over. You could probably do it right now. But the second muscle, the smoother muscle, you don't have control over. So that really has to be coaxed to let something come inside of it. And if you pressure, it can get very painful. And a way to really ensure that this coaxing process goes well is lube, baby. So I love this lube. This is from Dame. It is made with aloe vera. It is amazing also to people with vulvas because it matches your pH, so it's not going to mess with your system. But lube in general is a must when it comes to anal play. If you are using toys, you might want to consider a water-based lube. If not, a silicone-based lube can also be great because those don't absorb into the body. And because the anus is not self-lubricating, you might need to apply more than you usually do. One of the spots that many of you are probably already well aware of is the G spot, or I like to call it the G region because it really speaks to both the legs and the vestibules of the clitoris, potentially the Skene's gland, and the erectile tissue that swells and protects your urethra when you are fully aroused. And so all of these various things combined make that area 2 inches in and towards the belly button, you know, if you're using fingers, a hotbed of nerve endings. And if you put pressure on that, many people can find a beautiful release. It's also said that the G spot is rigid and you can locate it by looking for slightly rougher skin. Think about if you put your tongue on the roof of your mouth right now, how that feels kind of walnutty. That's also similarly how the G spot might feel to people. And that's why I want to point out this product right here in my lap, which is Eva. This is the #1 crowd-funded sex toy, and essentially it is a hands-free clitoral vibrator that tucks inside of your labia and stays put and does its work magically on the outside while you have a partner or a toy penetrating on the inside. This isn't really a spot, it's more of a sensation or an experience, but it gets brought up a whole lot whenever people discuss pleasure potential when it comes to people with vulvas bodies, and that's squirting. And squirting essentially describes fluid that is expelled from the urethra during sexual stimulation. Some people squirt when they orgasm. Some people's squirting is not connected with orgasm. Some people really enjoy it. Some people don't experience it and can't experience it. There's a method that's called around the clock, which has been proven to be one of the best ways. Now, when it comes to learning how to squirt, the best teacher is going to be yourself, because you want to be in a very comfortable environment. You want to feel like you've got all the tools and towels necessary to ensure that you feel safe to try. And then furthermore, you want to give yourself the benefit of time, because it can take some time for people. So essentially, while you are doing clitoral stimulation, whether you are using a vibrator or using a hand, you're also going to be on the inside doing an around-the-clock sensation with your fingers. And that essentially means putting pressure on the A spot, putting pressure on the G spot, circling around, putting pressure at the back, and then swirling around a couple of times and then continuing to do this. Essentially what you're giving yourself is an exploratory opportunity to kind of see what gives you that full sensation. And if you feel like you have to pee and you feel that pressure mounting, give yourself an opportunity to let go and see where that takes you. The last kind of orgasm or pleasure potential that I want to talk about is blended. The blended pleasure potential. Take your hand like this right now and just do that. Kind of feel how that feels. Okay, cool. Now take your thumb, which is doing nothing, and then brush it like that. See how that changes the sensation. See how that makes things feel a little bit different. That's essentially how you can spice things up in the bedroom. Taking all the tips I just gave you and doing different combinations at various times or various degrees. Or even, like I said, it doesn't have to necessarily even be a genital region, right? You can be doing A-spot stimulation along with an inner thigh stroke. That can change things immensely. The mons pubis, which is the mound of skin that has a bunch of hair on it, in your pelvic region, like that's an incredible place to put pressure or to even tease. If your partner's got a little hair, play with that bad boy. If people love the hair on their head being played with, why do we neglect pubic hair? But essentially, a blended orgasm means choose your own adventure, get creative, get handsy, get mouthy. Finally, let's talk about your sexual wellness potential as it pertains to your future sex life. What are some of the activities and experiences and sensations that you have not yet thought of or attempted that could actually open up your world in ways you could have never expected? And furthermore, how do you figure out what these things are and what they're definitely not for you? So there's two ways of approaching this question. There is the to-do list method, where you kind of figure out what are some of the things that you're interested in doing, what piques your interest and what makes you feel like not so much. The way that I actually prefer to approach this, though, is on the to-feel list method. Rather than thinking of what am I willing to do, focus heavily on how you want to feel in the bedroom. And there's an incredible resource that Afrosexology provided, which is a word wall. And what they challenge you to do is just to circle the words. Circle 3, circle 2, if you want, to make sure that tonight you can have an action point for yourself that are yeah, I want to feel like that. And then you can kind of find the activities that you think are going to give you the best opportunity of achieving that feeling. So here are some words. Which stand out to you? During sex, I want to feel powerful, confident, seductive, primal, submissive, adored, worshipped, irresistible, respected, shameless, dominant, objectified. You can add some extra words on there like degraded might be your jam. You can add other words on there like naughty might be your jam. So you can get more creative and add more to it. This is a great base point. Which of those 3, which of those 2 that stood out to you? And then from there, you can go over to the lists and have a different framework for, again, what might allow me to feel this way? Most importantly, when it comes to sex, that you show up for yourself, and you have definitely done that today. Thank you so much to the Poosh Your Wellness experience for having me here. Thank you to Dame for providing me with products to help illustrate these points. And shout out to you, you sex expert. You know you are.
Hi, my name is Amelia Ramos. I'm the founder of AGRESTAL Beauty, and I'm so excited to be here today with Candace for the Poosh Your Wellness Festival.
I'm Candace Marino, better known as the LA Facialist, and I'm a licensed esthetician with over 15 years of experience. So I'm here to talk all things skin, which is my favorite topic.
Yes, and I think it's such a great topic that we're talking about today. We're talking about anti-aging and just the whole wellness festival being about the future you. I think with anti-aging, it being such a common concern from men and women, it's better to start earlier. So what you do now will impact the future you.
One thing that is such a telltale sign of aging is actually hyperpigmentation. And there's so many studies that show that pigment is actually more telling of age than wrinkles. I think lines and wrinkles are just kind of a fact of life, but pigment is actually kind of optional. You know, you can do so many things proactively to prevent that hyperpigmentation from showing. So sunscreen is definitely the way to do that. And it's just going to ensure that your products are working for you. You know, people want to spend money on amazing products, but really you're just throwing money down the drain if you're not protecting your skin. There's really no point in taking care of your skin if you're not also protecting. So make SPF your BFF and do it every day.
I love that. And I just want to stress on top of that, that doesn't just mean for the sun, like wear it every single day and apply it multiple times a day. I apply SPF at least 3 times a day throughout the day just to reapply. Yeah, just to reapply because, you know, and make sure that strength is really on top of my skin because there's so many environmental stressors like pollution and smoke and things like that. And SPF also can help you protect from that as well. So it's not just for the beach. So I love that saying, make SPF your BFF. That's going to be my new thing.
Sunscreen every single day. And I know there's the argument that we need our vitamin D, but vitamin D is actually most synthesized through the eyes. So we can protect our skin, still get all of the benefits from the sun and the vitamin D, but make sure that we're preserving the integrity of the skin. So the sun will absolutely break down collagen, create hyperpigmentation, and God forbid, skin cancers. So being really proactive about sun care, staying out of direct sunlight as best we can. I'm not asking you to not enjoy the outdoors. I love going to the beach and I love hiking just as much as the next person. But I make it a point to be protecting my skin, not only with SPF, but with sun hats that will protect the skin. There's actually plenty of brands out there that have UPF fabrics, which help block out the UV rays. So I really can't stress that enough.
And just to get into some of the also ingredients to look out for, that natural ingredients that I really look out for in certain products and just overall applying to my skin, whether that's in supplements or ingesting it or just products overall. But you want to look for just like great oils like rosehip oil, avocado oil, grapeseed oil. Those are natural carrier oils. That should be the base of certain products that really can have those antioxidants and have the vitamin C, the vitamin D, the vitamin E that can all help, not with just the appearance of anti-aging, but again, with the tone and hyperpigmentation and things of that nature. And then you have your extracts and your essential oils, like you have pomegranate, hibiscus, like these are all great extracts that really promote that youthfulness, that glow within the skin and help with the overall tone. So those are just certain ingredients and extracts and the berries and the greens, not only to eat, but also for your skin as well. So supplements in this and also products as well that have strawberry extract, blackberry extract, things like that are also just so great for maintaining that overall tone and improving that texture of the skin.
I always say, make your skincare self-care. Yeah. You know, we all have so many things that we need to tackle during the day. And I think a lot of people feel like, getting ready for bed at night is just another one of my chores. Mm-hmm. But when you actually make it a ritual versus a routine, that's when the magic happens. And it's something that you actually look forward to, you know, taking that extra time, like you said, putting on some good music, dimming the lights, drawing a bath. Those are ways to make it something that you really look forward to. Mm-hmm. I know that for me, like, on a busy day, I'm like, I cannot wait to get in my bathroom. It's like my sanctuary, and I can really just slow down and just really, you know, indulge in some things that are not only going to make me feel good, but they're going to make me look better as well. And, you know, another tip that I tell all of my clients, if you get home from work at 4 or 5, do your skincare routine then. You know, don't wait until you've cooked and you've taken care of the kids and you've wind down on the couch. Like for me, if I go to sleep on the couch, it's a wrap. I'm not getting upstairs. It's like I wake up the next morning.
I love that. I actually never thought about that, doing it as soon as I get home, because I've had my moments. I hate to say it, but I've had my moments falling asleep with makeup on or things like that. You get so tired, exhausted from out the day. But that's a great tip that I'm definitely going to apply now as well.
So I always stress to people, if you're not leaving the house, if you're in for the night, go ahead and like do it right then and there. So then you have no excuse to fall asleep in your makeup. That is one of the worst things for your skin, is to fall asleep with makeup, sunscreen, and then just all of the pollution from the day on the skin. It is so bad. It breaks down the skin. It'll settle into fine lines and wrinkles, obviously congest pores, create acne, but do it every single night as soon as you can. So that way, you know, it's done and you can just enjoy the rest of your evening.
I think with just going off of just the routine, and we're talking about the products and ingredients, just some things, of course, to like look out for that you don't want on your skin. You don't want those sulfates, those alcohols, those things that can really dry out your skin and just increase aging at a rapid rate and ruin the tone overall, the texture of your skin. So just really be careful with that. I understand a lot of these type of ingredients are in the preservatives that help preserve your skincare, but there's also natural preservatives. So you can also look out for things like that in order to just maintain that integrity within your skin and being very thoughtful of what you're applying on your skin as well.
So one of my last tips, and it kind of relates back to sun, as you can tell, I'm really passionate about sun, is self-tan versus get a tan. Tanning is, at the end of the day, it's radiation. So it's burning the skin, it's breaking down the collagen. And if you, I know we all love to be tan. I'm very pale. I'm practically see-through. So for me, the thought of putting on a bikini is so scary because my skin is like reflective. I'm translucent. So for me, utilizing some of the amazing self-tan products out there helps me feel more confident, but I know that I'm also doing the right thing because I'm preserving my skin. I'm keeping it healthy. I'm not allowing for it to get burned. So that's another thing that I love to educate people on. There's really no such thing as a healthy tan. And I know people don't want to hear it, but it's proven fact. Like any dermatologist will tell you that the sun is radiation and it's actually harmful to us, especially in extreme doses. So if you can utilize your self-tanning products, it's definitely going to give you the benefit of looking and feeling tan, but without actually putting your skin and your health at risk. One little last thing to throw in there, we want to always be exfoliating our skin, especially if we want to have a beautiful self-tan, we need to get some exfoliation. And then if maybe you spend a little bit too much time outside and the skin looks dull and flaky and dry, we need to exfoliate so that when we go to use our hydrating products, they actually absorb and do what they're intended to do. So Amelia is going to walk us through an at-home scrub that you guys can follow along and create. And I'm so excited for this because I love to have a little project at home. And of course, I love to try new things. So I'm so excited for you to share this with us. So what do you call your scrub?
So it's just a matcha green tea scrub. And it's great because we're talking about antioxidants earlier and how great they are for the skin. And green tea is a major antioxidant. And we also have a lot of other antioxidant ingredients in here as well. So if you guys want to join me for making the scrub, then you can gather your ingredients. Today we're going to be using sugarcane, grapeseed oil, rosehip oil, matcha green tea powder. We're also going to use aloe vera, honey, and frankincense essential oil. And of course, if you don't have those now, you can gather those. The recipe will be up later on poosh.com. So we're going to follow along now, and I'm so excited to dive into this. And we're going to just set up really quickly, and then we're going to start making the scrub. All right, so we are all set up for our matcha green tea scrub, and we're going to start things off with using sugarcane. So sugarcane is a great exfoliator ingredient. You don't want to use salt. Salt is more so for the body, but for the skin, it could be a little bit too harsh, where sugar is more finer. So this is perfect. And with this scrub, with it being sugar, you probably only want to use it once or twice a week, but nothing more than that. So we're going to do half a cup of sugarcane right there.
Sugar is such a great ingredient, and this is actually in so many exfoliating products. Sugarcane is actually the natural derivative for glycolic acid. So this is amazing. It's going to give a little bit of, obviously, that textural scrub, but the sugar compound actually is kind of like a form of glycolic to just resurface and digest and brighten as well. So I love that you're using that.
And then next we're going to do, I combine the rosehip and the grapeseed oil. So rosehip, this is a great anti-aging ingredient. It's packed with vitamin A, C, and E. It's great for diminishing discoloration and for fine lines. And then grapeseed is an antioxidant, and also promotes collagen production within the skin as well. So we're going to do 1 ounce of rosehip and 1 ounce of grapeseed. So we're going to pour that in.
Those are both like two of my favorite oils. You know, the rosehip is just so good for discoloration, which is one of my biggest issues because I have melasma. So rosehip seed oil is so good for that brightening. And like you said, it's packed with vitamin A, which is what retinol is. So it's kind of like a more natural version of a retinoid because it's going to help with that cell turnover while stimulating collagen. So such a beautiful alternative and very safe for all skin tones.
And the next thing we're going to do is aloe vera. So I just grabbed the plant right here. You can grab liquid or gel form, but at the plant, so why not? And we're going to do 1 tablespoon. So I'm just going to scoop this out. I already cut it earlier. But yeah, no, aloe vera is amazing for your hair, your skin, your body, so many different things. But it really fights those free radicals, those that makes those and promotes that damaged cells. So aloe vera helps fight that. So I'm just gonna scoop out about 1 tablespoon.
Another thing that I love about aloe is it's like one of the most ancient, medicinal plants, but it's antibacterial, antimicrobial, and hydrating. So for anybody that has issues with acne, it's like a superhero ingredient, because most acne prone people are really dry because a lot of the products they use to combat the acne will strip the skin. And then you have those antibacterial ingredients. So you're killing the acne bacteria. So aloe is just such a beautiful ingredient. And I love that you're using that here.
Yes, yes. And another ingredient that's similar to aloe is honey as well. That's also great for acne-prone skin as well. It helps nourishes the skin, plumps the skin, maintain its moisture. So I love honey. I've been using it since I was a kid for so many different things. Anytime I had like a breakout, I would just do an overall honey mask and put my face over some steam a couple times a week, and I was good to go. And it's also antibacterial as well, so it helps fight so many different things. So we're going to do also a tablespoon of honey.
And are you using like a raw organic honey? Because I actually, one really cool thing that I've told some of my acne clients for the longest time, wash your face or mask with raw organic honey. It has so many anti-inflammatory properties on top of all the antibacterial properties. So it's truly one of those superpower ingredients for acne prone skin. I've seen people transform their skin with just honey, but you want to make sure you get the raw organic kind. And if you can source it locally, even better. Versus like the processed kind and the cute bear. You want to get the good stuff.
Next, we love matcha. I love matcha tea in the morning, but it's also great for your skin as well. The caffeine helps energize your skin and helps give that skin firmness and overall tone. So I love matcha, not only for tea, but for your skin as well. So we're just going to do 1 teaspoon of this.
This is like sounding like you're making a baked good. Like all of these ingredients sound really yummy. Like
you can find this all at your local supermarket, or if not, you can find them on Amazon. So it's like we're baking a yummy cake for your face, And the last thing is we're going to add the frankincense essential oil. So this is a great essential oil. Also has a lot of anti-aging properties, helps with the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, but it also helps with the overall tone as well. And can assist with any discoloration. So again, when you were referring to earlier, it's really the hyperpigmentation that can really tell the aging of the skin. So you just want to put some essential oils, and I'm just using 1, but you can use multiple. But with essential oils, make sure you're only using a small amount because they are extremely powerful. It can irritate your skin if you use too much. So we're just going to do half a teaspoon.
Yeah, it's great that you have those carrier oils. The rose hip seed oil and the grapeseed oil are going to be a beautiful carrier oil for the essential oil, because you never want to just douse yourself with essential oil because it can really be irritating. So you already have so many beautiful ingredients that you've used in this formulation. So this is perfect. And I'm sure also, going back to like the holistic approach, having that essential oil is going to give you some of the aromatherapy benefits as well. So you can make this a moment of self-care and really indulge.
We're almost quite done with the scrub. So this will give you at least like 3 to 4 ounces. Just want to whisk away. And then once everything's mixed together, you can just storage it in your favorite jar that you have, glass preferably. And just, use it again once to twice a week. You don't really need to use it more than that. I would start out with once a week if you've never exfoliated before. And then if you need to, do it twice a week. But you never want to over exfoliate because that can cause not the best effects. And that's not what we want. We want great, beautiful, youthful skin. So this makes about 4 ounces and it's perfect. And because it's, of course, all natural, I recommend using it within a week time. So it doesn't have any preservatives in it. So I would just make probably less than this if you're going to use it at least twice a week. But this gives you a good 4 ounces, and you can just storage it anywhere warm, not somewhere too hot or somewhere too cold. So this was really fun. I'm so excited that we got to do this, and I hope that you guys all try this scrub at home. It's definitely an easy scrub. Find all the ingredients at your local grocery store. It's a great exfoliator that you can use throughout the week.
Well, I'm definitely, as soon as I get home from being in New York, I'm making that scrub because it just sounds like such a fun thing and then just a beautiful way to brighten and rejuvenate the skin. So thanks for sharing that with us. And thank you everyone out there in the Poosh universe for tuning in. This was so much fun.
Yes, thank you everyone so much. I love the conversation. I loved all the dialect and everything that we shared from the tips. And I'm just so excited. So yes, loved it. Thank you again. Thank you everyone to the Poosh community. And I hope you guys enjoyed this and enjoyed this recipe and try it out at home.
Hi, my name is Shayna Taylor. I am a chef and wellness entrepreneur and influencer. I am here with BELLABEAT, which is very exciting to be a nutritionist, to start talking about the menstrual cycle and what that means.
Yeah, thank you, Shayna, for this introduction. My name is Erska, and I'm the co-founder of BELLABEAT. For those of you who don't know us yet, we're a Silicon Valley company developing beautiful technology that helps women improve their lifestyle and achieve better health. We've pioneered the space of femtech as far back as in 2015 with the first health tracker designed specifically for women called Leaf. And then just last year, we launched a new biometric tracker for women that helps them achieve better health and wellness and also adjust their lifestyle to their cycle, which is something really incredibly new in the space of wellness for women.
Yeah, I mean, even for me, I've been in the wellness space for over 10 years now, and having this new tool in my life has been really amazing and essential. And it's actually, even though I'm an expert in my own ways, has taught me a lot. And it really helps me be intuitive with my own body even more than I already was before. And I think this is a really incredible tool and technology that you guys have created. And we both agree that fad diets and like this one approach, one size thing, it really doesn't work. And especially for women, you know, we have our menstrual cycles. And like, I think so many women know, of course, that this is a big part of our life. But one of the main things that you told me was like that all the studies and things that are based off the data that they create these, you know, one-off diet plans is that it's based mostly on the men, because it's very complex, the menstrual cycle.
Exactly.
And there's so many layers to it, and everybody has different hormones and imbalances, and like this is where, you know, like you say, we're like kind of hacking the ability to take advantage of really understanding your menstrual cycle and then applying it to our daily lives is so beneficial for women especially.
Yeah, so basically the main thing is that our menstrual cycle influences all aspects of our health and bodies. Basically, it influences our psychophysical needs throughout the month. So basically how we grow or repair muscle, what are our nutritional needs, what our mindset even is. So basically, it's really hard to develop tools that are able to adjust to women's changing bodies and health. You know, we go through different menstrual stages. Our cycles have 4 different stages, which, you know, correlate to different levels of our hormones. But then we also go through different stages in life, from puberty to adulthood to, you know, pregnancy, motherhood, and then to menopause.
Right. What's really interesting about society in general is even for myself, you know, it took me a really long time to understand that there was so much more and so many more steps into the menstrual cycle, not just like your period and ovulation and ta-da. So I think it would be amazing if we kind of give the breakdown of the 4 steps, and or not steps, but cycles and what they mean, and how, you know, go into a little more detail so people can be,
Yeah, cycle mapping is new to many women. Even for myself, a couple of years back, I didn't really think about it. I didn't know what different stages of the cycle bring, how my body is changing. So this is definitely something that helped me better understand my body and my responses as well to different things, not just, you know, in terms of mood and so forth, because obviously mood is the first thing that we correlate
we know when we're
to
crying.
cycle. Obviously, it, you know, it's kind of, it gives our menstrual cycle a bad rap.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's not just those kind of responses. All of our psychophysical needs change throughout the cycle. So how we're responding to different types of workout, different foods, and also stress.
Yeah.
So cycle mapping can really be a great tool for women to better understand themselves and navigate life in general.
I definitely, being an entrepreneur, I'm sure you know, and like everyone when you deal with people on a daily basis, this is everyone in their work essentially, right? And so when we're more sensitive or when we feel like more motivated or when we feel like there's so many different steps in the cycle where you really want to like capitalize on what that part is, because even though, like you said, like the menstrual cycle gets a bad rep because women are known as being really emotional and kind of, you know, over the top, and the boyfriends are like, oh, avoid her when she's on her period, whatever it is. I feel like there is really a time where like this should be a place for self-care, and this should be a time for like really honing in on being, you know, taking time by yourself and what that means, and reading a book and being sensitive. And then when you know you have to be at work, you understand, maybe don't yell or react to somebody that doesn't deserve it or whatever. So
yeah, I mean, cycle mapping can be a great way to actually tap into your superpowers, because, you know, even though we get bad rap because there are certain times where we might respond stronger to stressors, every cycle phase actually brings strengths as well. So either that's really heightened productivity, focus, or more energy, better communication skills. So basically every cycle phase gives you new tools that you can work with. And if you plan that into your routine and your work plans as well, then basically you're giving yourself advantage.
Exactly.
So now that we established that cycle mapping can be a really great way for you to source your natural superpowers, we can go deeper into the 4 stages of the cycle and tell a little bit what happens throughout it and how you can adjust your lifestyle to support your health, but also to achieve better results.
Let's do it. I'm excited.
So a healthy natural cycle exhibits 4 phases. It starts with the first day of your period, and that's when all of your reproductive hormones are at their lowest levels. So basically that means that also your metabolism slows down. You might be a little bit low on energy, and so you need to support your body with a little bit more rest. And in terms of workouts that are appropriate for that time is a little bit of stretching or yoga, more static routines, because that might feel more comfortable for you and it might be easier for you to follow through.
Yeah, exactly. Slow moving walks and things like this. And from a nutrition side, I mean, this is where you really need to support the body and not cause more pain or more inflammation to the body, right? It's like we're already having cramps, possibly. We're having a little bit of, like you said, the estrogen, testosterone, everything is at its lowest. So I think eating a more plant-forward diet where you're having lots of leafy vegetables and you're having easier things on the body, anti-inflammatory, things like this. Omegas are always really good. And during, I think, any part of the cycle, it really helps balancing the hormones. So it's not recommended to eat fried foods and heavy meats. And even though we have those cravings during the time of our period, like it really is kind of essential to give more energy and things that the body recovers quickly on and things like that.
After our period phase ends, that's when our hormone levels start to rise again. The 2 most important hormones that cause significant changes in our psychophysical needs are estrogen and testosterone. So basically we perk up, we have more energy, we're more motivated, our communication skills improve, we're also more flirty because we're approaching our fertile window. But in terms of physical changes, we actually grow and repair our muscles much better than in other phases. So this is a time where you can really try some more strength workouts, try to build more muscle tissue and challenge yourself. Also high intensity workouts because you have, plenty of energy and motivation to follow them through. So this is also the time to start new routines because you might be into, socializing and exploring new things. So this is a great time to use as a source of power.
Yes, the superpower that we want to tap into for this type of thing. Yeah, exactly. And I feel like obviously for a time, some people know in a more standard way of like when you want to do, muscle building or getting some more exercise and all this kinds of stuff for recovery, it's you can add a little more of those healthy proteins into your diet. You obviously still want to do a plant forward, diet as much as possible. And I think when, estrogen levels are rising, you really want to have those, greens and things that really support the liver and helping, detox the estrogen because you don't want them to go, too overboard. And obviously things like kale and Brussels sprouts, broccoli sprouts, like all these really high, antioxidant-rich plants and vegetables are amazing for this.
Yeah, paths of elimination are really important as much as, endocrine system that creates your hormones so that you keep your balance in the body and keep healthy.
You don't want to keep eating the fried foods and not giving your body enough support to kind of go through its ongoing hormonal cycles. Yeah,
exactly. And then it's the third phase, which is our favorite phase, our fertile window. Basically, our cycle
right now.
Not me.
It's funny that we're literally at like the opposite
parts
ends
of the cycle.
Exactly.
So our cycle basically peaks with ovulation. This is when our estrogen levels are at their highest.
Yes.
So this is when we're, beaming with energy and we're, seeking social connections and, exploring new things. So this is a great time in terms of productivity to schedule really important meetings or projects because, you will impress with your glow.
Quick-witted and
exactly.
Yeah, feeling confident all of a sudden, more than usual, and feeling like you can conquer the world, which is amazing. And I think from a nutrition side, obviously in general, you want to support your hormones and balance as much as possible. But when you're feeling this great, I believe that this is where you really want to take advantage as much as possible of like optimizing your health and like eating a balanced diet as much as possible. So like you want to get those healthy carbs and you want to have the healthy plants and all the greens, leafy greens, salad, juices, smoothies, but like don't forget about cooked vegetables. And like I feel like this is like the time where you're like, okay, I feel my best. So instead of going against it where I'm like, well, I'm feeling great, so I'm just going to eat whatever I want, I believe in like that 80-20 mentality. It's like, eat 80% of the time, like the things that your body are going to thrive off of and the superfoods and antioxidants and like things that are going to support your hormone balance. And then of course, like on the weekends or whatever, like have a glass of wine. Like it's okay. Biodynamic is my preferred, but have that restaurant that you've been wanting to try, for however long, and like treat yourself, because at the end of the day too, like there are those types of, and things in our hormones that we want to like reward ourselves and give the self-care and the things that we really love. And it's all about finding that balance so that we can really optimize our health and hormones as much as possible.
Yeah, and it's also great time to prepare for the last part of your cycle, so that you don't enter it completely unprepared. And this is when your hormonal levels start to drop again. So after ovulation, your levels drop, and then they start to rise actually again. The leading hormone in this process is progesterone. So throughout the luteal phase, we see higher levels of progesterone and also a little bit of estrogen. So this is when you're a little bit better at endurance, actually. So basically, jogging or long walks might be perfect because also this is when you start to slow down a little bit and your energy becomes more oriented more inwards. So basically, contemplating and meditating and so forth. So supporting yourself through processes that help you digest everything that has been happening throughout the cycle, consolidate also some projects that you've been taking on during your fertile window, and maybe decide, which ones are important and which ones are not, and then, prepare for the end of the phase when all of your levels completely drop and your cycle starts again. And throughout the last days of your cycle, many women might experience PMS symptoms as well. In some aspect or to some extent, those symptoms are normal because that's our response to levels of progesterone. But if it's something, stronger, then it might be something that has to be monitored and tracked throughout every cycle, and then, see a practitioner if you feel that symptoms are a bit, hard to control. But what is interesting that actually through our lifestyle, we can either support our hormonal balance and minimize the symptoms that we might experience, not just during PMS, but throughout the cycle, or actually make it worse for ourselves.
Diet becomes very, very important with this kind of thing, because even for, normal hormone, like just anything that basically benefits your hormones, is what I found is making sure you have those omegas in your daily diet, omega-3, omega-6, making sure you're having magnesium. Like these are very simple tools that like really help the body kind of relax and gives it that extra good fats and like things that really minimize the cramps and like the migraines and maybe don't make the PMS symptoms as intense. And of course, yes, you can supplement with these things, and everyone knows there's a supplement for omega-6 and 3s, and there's obviously magnesium supplements, and I believe wholeheartedly I take them all myself. But I think, leaning more towards the natural remedies of where those things come from is really where you can capitalize and feel the best, because, I get it. People are like, I travel all the time, and which is why sometimes I don't have access to leafy greens and broccoli and all these things that I know provide these things. So, I travel with supplements, and I supplement when needed, and it's very simple tools that I think, like you said, it's the daily practices and rituals that we create for ourselves that really capitalize on the knowledge of hormone balance. And then, of course, tying in a tool like this, which is incredible because it really educates you, and then you kind of get excited to watch it. And then it's like, for me, I've always been a great sleeper, and like I really love having like 8-9 hours of sleep. And so now, I actually look forward to make sure I like get in bed. So I wake up in the morning to see if I've really, made my goal that I wanted to do. And then, the readiness thing is great because, like you said, sometimes I'm a very Aries, fiery woman. Like I am like, today I'm conquering the world, and it's pretty much all the time. But sometimes like internally, I know that like it's maybe not that day to feel that way. And like, it's okay to not feel like I'm this, go-getter 24/7 and accepting that and knowing that it's okay to have a readiness score like the app shows. It's like, it's okay to chill. It's okay to really like take a breather and do stretching and do a yoga flow or just do a walk around the block and like really hone in on the way that your body's feeling and how you can really, again, capitalize on, the superpowers we have with our hormone tracking.
What is great through technology is that we can actually just tell them on daily basis, this is your plan, this is the kind of workout you should do, the kind of diet you should stick to, and even like in terms of mindfulness, we can try different meditation techniques or relaxation techniques. So basically really give you everything you need to support yourself.
And to succeed. Because again, like in the wellness space, we're set up so many times over and over again with fad diets and keto and paleo and this and lose whatever pounds in whatever X amount of days. And it's like so many of this mentality sets people up for failure. And it's disappointing because when you're in the wellness space and you want to help people achieve their optimum health, you have to really educate them on the reality of what things are. It's not about subtracting and it's not about eliminating things out of your diet. It's really about adding in and using tools that set you up for success and like really taking advantage of what those are that really connect with you and make it easier so that you can be like, wow, it really wasn't that hard to, live a healthier lifestyle. I just needed something that actually set me up to succeed. And that's, it's very hard. Luckily, it's a new topic. I'm happy about it, which is why I promote it a lot because balance is essential in so many ways. And I'm excited actually because I'm picky with people that I like to do work with and get a little nitpicky in the wellness space. And this is a really incredible tool, I think, that will help a lot of women. Welcome to the BELLABEAT version of Shayna's Kitchen. I'm really excited to share this recipe because I've created something that maybe you've seen before with chocolate dipped dates, but the reason why this one is a little bit special is because we're actually going to educate you a little bit on why it's beneficial to basically eat and enjoy, maybe prep before this phase of your menstrual cycle, which is the one that we all kind of dread, but at the end of the day, it is a superpower, like you said, and so we want to kind of optimize as much as we can. So we're actually going to start with a pumpkin seed and walnut butter. What makes this essential for this time of your cycle is that the walnuts are the highest level plant-based, at least, of omega-3s, which is really good and kind of work as a ibuprofen for relieving cramps. And then pumpkin seeds are also incredible because they're very, very high in magnesium and then also high in zinc, which our bodies naturally kind of deplete of when we're going through our period cycle. So the first step is basically to put it in a food processor or blender. And then we're gonna add some things that kind of add, of course, some good flavor. So a little bit of cinnamon. That was a lot of cinnamon, but if you like cinnamon. And then lavender is kind of a nice touch. I love lavender in my chocolate. And I feel like lavender has this natural, just like soothingness to it. So I figured it's a fun thing to kind of add in there. And
you can also keep it next to your bed while you go to sleep, so it helps you sleep better.
Exactly, lavender spray on the pillows, those are really good things too. And then we're gonna add a little salt. vanilla is over there. And then you can do natural sweeteners as well. You can opt out if you are kind of trying to do less sugar in your life, but I really love honey or maple syrup is a natural one. And you're basically just gonna blend this up until it becomes like a grainy, buttery consistency, depending on what you have. So once you go through the blending stage, food processor is a little better, but if you have a blender, that's totally fine. You basically get this kind of chunky nut butter. You can continue to do it into a cream if you like, but this is completely fine. It has great nutty flavor, a little bit of salt in there, so it's obviously has that great kind of creamy texture. So now we're just going to stuff it in the dates. This is another fun superfood. Obviously dates are really full of fiber, and this is essential, I think, as well, as sometimes we get a little thrown off on our bathroom use sometimes, so yeah.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because we've been told so many times to kind of suppress our cravings and especially avoid sugar, but cravings can be also indicator that we're lacking other nutrients.
Exactly.
So basically it's best to reach for something that, you know, satisfies our cravings for sugar, but also adds different nutrients that will benefit us. And you know, this is everything about living by your cycle, basically listening to your body and nurturing it, and optimizing all the decisions that you do so that you get twofold or threefold benefits out of it.
Exactly.
Women have been, you know, programmed to feel guilty about everything for so long. And they've been, you know, taught to deny themselves pleasure.
Exactly.
So it's definitely time to give women the tools and teach them how they can be themselves and feel good about themselves and in their bodies. And their bodies are gonna start feeling better as well, because, you know, the benefits that women report after just short time of adjusting their lifestyle and habits to their cycle have been immense, not just in terms of reaching their wellness goals and getting better, you know, results from their efforts, but also they feel more motivated, supported, report feeling better mentally, and at work as well. You know, it's all about keeping your body and mind in sync.
Exactly. So the next thing, so this is what it looks like. That it's a stuffed date. Now, the next thing we're gonna do is actually put them in the freezer after we stuff them so that they're easier to dip, because the date actually becomes harder because of the sugar content in it. So it doesn't look maybe as appetizing as now, but as soon as we dip it in the chocolate, it's incredible. Okay, once the dates have been in the freezer, now they're nice and solid, which makes it easier to work with so all the stuff doesn't fall out of the center. So now we want to dip it in the dark chocolate. So the reason why dark chocolate, I feel our bodies kind of crave it, is obviously it's very high in magnesium, but it also has this component called theobromine, which is a natural mood booster, and it also can help with sleep and all these kinds of health benefits that we also kind of can lack in this part of our PMS cycle. So you could do this a couple ways. We can fork it, we can use a toothpick to dip it, but I think you and I have decided we're just gonna drop it into our melted dark chocolate. So while it's in the freezer, you can melt your dark chocolate as you wish. I like to do a double broiler just to not kill the nutrients, but you can microwave it if you wish. And you're just gonna coat it and then kind of fish it out. So you have it nice and covered in dark chocolate, and we can make a mess. It's art, really.
Oh, that's really nice.
It's like abstract art. And then at the end, you can drizzle it with sea salt, a little bit of lavender. You can do chia seeds for more fiber. You can really get creative with it, coconut if you really wish. Anything that's kind of your favorite or what you're craving at that time of your PMS.
I mean, it's such a simple recipe, but so rich in nutrients, different kinds of nutrients.
Exactly. Balance, essentially. You know,
Really
you have
amazing.
the magnesium, you have the fiber, you're having the zinc, you have all these really key things that we, I think, just naturally kind of lose during this time of our cycle. Yeah.
And I think we've made an
art piece. Yeah, we have. So after you sprinkle the dates with whatever you would like, coconut, chia seeds, salt, all these things, you just want to put it in the freezer for 1 hour, and then you can put it in the fridge and eat it as you like.
So this was really fun to make, and remember that you can find full recipe on poosh.com.
Hi, Poosh Your Wellness. I'm Poppy Jamie. I'm the best-selling author of the book, Happy Not Perfect. I'm an entrepreneur, happiness researcher, host of the Not Perfect podcast, and psychosynthesis practitioner. I've spent the last 10 years looking into what makes people feel happier. And I've been writing for Poosh since the day this started. So this is a huge honor to be here today to take you guys through my flexible thinking happiness workout. And it's something you can do daily to ensure a happier future you. Okay, so before we begin, I want you to take your pen and paper and write down, what would a future happy me feel like and look like? What are you doing? Where are you? How does it feel? Often when we think about the future, we immediately move into vision boards. But the real secret behind creating our happiest future lies within the power of the present. How you manage the present moment and how you make decisions and how you respond to life right now is the true indicator of how your future is going to look. The past may form the present, but our past does not have to dictate our future if we are willing to take control of the present. And the flexible thinking method is a great set of tools to help you do that. So let's dive in. The first C of the flexible thinking method is connection. Just at the moment that you want to react to life, you want to send that email or say that thing or think that horrible thought that's only going to keep you in that locked in low self-esteem, I want you to connect to your body. The power of a pause is your greatest friend when navigating anything in life. Our brains are wired for survival. And so that means our instinct wants us to react in any moment. It wants to react with stress. It wants to send that message. It wants to send that email. It wants to send that thing. Or it wants us to freeze, or it wants us to flee, because our brain thinks it's doing a great job by keeping us safe. But when we're stuck reacting, it means we are stuck in emotion, and then we are stuck in the past. The past has created our present, but it does not need to create our future if we're willing to be flexible. So in any moment where you want to react, please now just think, I'm going to pause and connect. And here's a couple of tips to do that. First of all, I want you to do these micro flexes, which is relax my shoulder and unclench my jaw. And now I invite you to take a big, deep belly breath. So inhaling into the belly, like a pregnant belly. And now exhale. Inhaling into the belly. And now exhale. Continue breathing like that. And I'm going to tell you about a new breath technique you may not know about, because the belly breath, more people are familiar with. I'm now going to invite you to do 2 inhales through your nose, then exhale through your mouth. So let's do that together. Inhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale, inhale, exhale. Let's do that again. Inhale, inhale, exhale. Continue doing that for me. Inhaling, inhale and exhale, exhaling. And I'm going to tell you about why that's helpful. When we inhale through our nose, we actually create nitric oxide, which is doubly relaxing for our system. And also, you may be familiar with this breath because often we do a similar breath after we've been crying, because it's incredibly calming for the mind and body. And I hope you're feeling the slight shift, because through the breath, we activate the parasympathetic nervous system, what I like to call the chilled radio station, and we start to relax that stress radio station that was playing when we wanted to react. We wanted to react to the threat. Immediately, we are reconnecting with the body. The next tip I want to give you about connecting to yourself is dancing. Now, I like to do this every single morning when I wake up, because it doesn't matter how I've slept. I can often kind of feel a bit groggy, and we can very often bring the stress from yesterday into today because we haven't shaken it off. So I'm going to play some music now, and I'm going to invite you to get up out of your seat, put your hands above your body, and we're going to play a little music. And see, you don't need any skills for this. I'm not a dancer at all. I'm mostly like a chicken at every wedding I go to. But that's fine, because I'm not doing this to look cool. I'm doing this to move my energy and connect to my body. So you kind of get the picture there. As you can tell, no skill needed, just moving your body. Now, that may look a bit silly. She danced for a couple of minutes, but I'm going to tell you why it's so important. There was a Hawkins scale of consciousness. And this amazing man, Richard Hawkins, looked at how our emotions also emit a frequency. So when we are stuck in shame or blame or guilt, we are very low energy. And the only thing that can help us change our energy is moving our body. So whenever you're feeling triggered or stressed, move your body before you even come to think about possible solutions or your way out. My last tip for the connection step is to use a simple diffusion technique. And this is something as simple as just labeling how you feel by saying, today my mind feels, and have a think about what that may be for you. And please repeat that to yourself right now. Repeat what I've just said. Today my mind feels, and then insert how you may be feeling. The reason why that is so important is because it helps us to separate us from our emotions. It is so easy for us to be lost in an emotional identity. And so many of my coaching clients are like, well, I'm an anxious person. And I have to stop them and say, no one is any one emotion. We experience emotions. And a study at UCLA found that when we label an emotion, it actually reduces the emotion's impact on the brain. Such simple techniques, such profound impacts. So let's move on to the second step. Curiosity. Stiff thinkers are people who are stuck reacting to life. They are stuck with their assumptions. They cling to their beliefs. They jump to conclusions and they're not willing to change. And because of the confirmation bias structure of our brain will always look out for the things we think are relevant. So if you believe you are not enough, your brain, if it is not challenged, will always look for all the evidence to confirm that you are also not enough. And this is why curiosity is the greatest weapon in disarming historical stiff beliefs. Stiff beliefs are the beliefs that we absorbed in our childhood through no fault of our own, but we may not be responsible for them, but we are responsible for how we manage our mind today and how we rewire our confirmation bias. And curiosity is a great way of doing that. So before I know what she meant by this, or this means that when something happens that you don't like, try swapping that for, interesting. I'm going to wait for more information. So staying curious allows us to stay in the power of the pause. Now, my curious mentor is the wonderful Byron Katie, and she has 4 questions to help you get really curious. Have a think about something in your life that maybe is kind of triggering you, it's annoying you. And now ask yourself, is this true? So is this true that everyone watching this is going to think I'm hopeless? And my, self-critical brain would say, yes, of course, Poppy. And then I'd ask myself, can I be 100% sure everyone watching this is going to think I'm hopeless? Well, I can't be 100% sure. How does these thoughts make me feel? Well, like a loser, like really unconfident, low energy. Who would I be without these thoughts? Ask yourself that. Who would you be without the thoughts you're holding? Well, I wouldn't be insecure. I'd be feeling good. I'd be feeling confident. And what we realize is the root of our suffering is usually within our thoughts we're not even 100% sure are true. Step 3 is choice. Now look, we often don't have the choice to be happy because sometimes life really can throw a spanner in the works. And in those moments, you do have a choice to be kind. And a great trick to be kind is this question. So get your pen and paper, and I want you to ask yourself, what would I advise a friend experiencing what I am now in my life? And this could be anything. You could choose work, relationship, friends, family. The reason this question is so powerful is because it taps in to the wise part of your brain. When we are problem solving for other people, the computer side of our brain, the prefrontal cortex, is activated. The emotional part of the brain is activated when we're going, what should I do? What should I do? Because it's connected to our survival. So when you flip the question and say, well, what would I advise a friend experiencing what I am now? You're no longer just stuck within your emotions. You start to calm that emotional center down by activating the problem-solving part of the brain. Use your own wisdom to solve your own problems. And it's amazing how little we do that. And it's amazing how much more happiness we can experience when we do. The fourth step is commitment. And this is such an important step because it's all very well doing these, mind flexibility exercises. But if we do not commit to acting aligned with how we want our future to be, we will never get there. When we are able to pause, to connect to our wisdom compassionately, that allows us to act, make decisions that will take us to a different destination. So how can you make sure that you commit to action aligned where you want to go? So think about that happiest version of you in the future and have a think about the values that happiest version of you has. Think about those values that are associated with that happy place. The reason it's so important to commit to our values is because that is what drives our decision making. An experiment was done that found in 0.3 of a second, we feel, and then that is what usually drives us to react. But when we pause and able to connect to ourselves, to our most compassionate selves, and then to our values and to our wisdom, we start to make very different decisions. And so that list of values that you have written, I want you to write down in a very special place, maybe keep it on the home screen of your phone, because whenever you then get presented with an opportunity, you could just look at your values and say, does this align? And suddenly you're able to make decision over and over and over again. And that is the power of manifesting. Manifesting happens in the present when you make decisions based on where you want to go, based on the values of what would take you there. And when you build a life upon values, it doesn't matter really what happens. It doesn't matter if reality and expectations go completely in different directions, because in the present you have become so aligned with your values, your truth. And that is really the core of our happiness when we feel in alignment. And so lastly, on the flexible thinking method, it's to celebrate every time you pause. When we are trying to create new thinking habits that are going to take us to new places full of so much future happiness, we've got to celebrate ourselves. Because we're like children. The only way we'll remember to do something again is if we give ourselves a massive treat, a massive high five, a massive pat on the back every time we respond to life in the way that we want to. That is enough from me. I really hope you've enjoyed this happiness workout, and I hope you found some value in it. I promise you, so much happiness awaits in your future, and it's all possible because you have the power to take control of your present. Thank you so much, and thank you so much, Poosh. I love you all.
Poosh Your Wellness.
Yes.
2022. I think I'm the most excited that it's like a new vibe. It's like our Poosh girl is evolving. Like
Yeah.
we're all evolving. And honestly, I love to look back as a reference. I remember our biggest thing we wanted to do differently from everyone else that was doing this kind of stuff was like, you can actually be like cool. It's like
And
just
into
because
health,
you're
yeah.
into health and wellness, like it kind of could have like a bad name, like you're like not cool, or you're like
Yeah.
too
Too
granola,
yeah.
and like this one way.
Yeah.
And that
I
was
feel
like
like people
all
have a
that
vision
existed.
of what a wellness girl
Yeah.
is, and I
Right.
think we're trying to redefine that.
Change
that.
It
Well,
is-
I also think that has changed. Like, it's obviously changed and evolved with Poosh, but it's also changed because of the pandemic. Like, I think just healthy was one way before, and now we're much kinder to
100%.
ourselves and like a
And
little bit more balanced.
It's not only about your body, it's about your mind too.
I think this theme that we all came up with, Future You, I think it's next level. It's evolving the
Yeah,
brand. Like the 90s theme, I think we're just like, people wouldn't associate 90s with wellness, but we
Right,
made
right.
that happen.
Right.
So we're excited. This creative is like different and fun.
Oh, I love
So
that.
yeah, like so this is gonna be the banner ad for the
Okay.
site.
I think this one stands out more than this.
Okay. The
Don't
second
you guys?
one. Yeah, I like that one. Okay, good. We have like our
Yay,
creative
we have a
vibe
plan.
set, and now we can get all the assets creative, which is exciting. So opening ceremony, we are so excited to show you the Benny video.
Me and Benny are gonna have the video.
So
Yeah.
the full video will be on YouTube, but we're gonna basically, starting next week, do individual panel promotion. So if you want to promote the Benny panel, we can create an asset. You do an asset of like you walking into the closet, he does one, and it teases it out.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
just like stops. So
Yeah, I
like
feel like
people
that
get
will drive
excited.
people to sign
Yeah,
up and see what it's all
exactly.
about.
I feel like that's it's the most, like, we're starting with a bang. The video's ready.
Okay.
Long awaited.
I live in Calabasas, California. My name is Kourtney Kardashian. I'm 37 years old. I just love you so much, baby.
He bought this giant matcha mug.
I have it. It's
Oh,
like
you
colors
gave it to you?
So get ready to just push your wellness 2022.
That's cute.
That's it.
Did
So
he
good.
see it yet?
Has he seen
He
it?
saw the first take.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
happy
was
with
like
it.
obsessed
Okay.
with
He said
it.
this
Him
was-
and
Okay,
Terry-
good.
It was a
No,
dream come
I'm
true.
on text.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm on text with Benny and Terry, and I sent it to them, and they were like freaking out.
Okay,
like,
good.
So excited.
I have two thoughts. Part of me is like, don't tease it and just let
I
people
thought this-
like watch it and be like,
What the-
OMG. Like on the day of, or I'm also like, it's so good because we want to get eyeballs like
Yeah,
that day, or
okay.
does it not matter?
So that's the thing. It's like
Should we tease it though with him not talking
So
somehow
Lynn's,
so that
I'm gonna
you-
show her the Benny string out.
okay.
Push your wellness 2022. Future you.
That's the best one, I think. The bathroom.
The bathroom one, right?
Yeah.
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 Like, it would obviously be funny to use that whole thing, but then it's like you're
Yeah,
not really
it's
We're giving
seeing
away
yeah, it's
everything.
giving it
Or
away.
maybe if it was the first one in bed to the first bathroom one, but it's kind of funny drinking the matcha
big-
thing.
Yeah, I mean, like this is so heavy.
That's
yeah.
my favorite.
I think-
like, but the first bathroom one I think is the funniest.
First
where he
bathroom.
like flips around and it
And
says
he goes,
Poosh. Has anything else been filmed besides the opening and closing?
Only 2 sessions have yet to be filmed. So we're in a really good
Oh,
place,
good.
and we'll have videos for you to start reviewing next week. Closing ceremony. We had our cacao ceremony last week. Oh my God, Courtney, it was so good. Sam cried.
Sam
She had an
told me.
Sam
emotional
literally
moment.
sobbed.
It
But
was
wait, I
embarrassing
drink
for her.
cacao every single
But
night.
this is ceremonial cacao.
When I've done breath work, I've taken, the guy makes us cacao before, so I'm assuming it's that.
Yeah.
And then you
Yeah.
definitely are like on another planet. So I'm really happy with the creative. I think it's like bringing it back to our original Poosh Girl,
With a
like with
twist.
what we started with,
Right.
but then like a little bit more modern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This Poosh Your Wellness is by far the best one we've ever done. I feel like it's all about elevating your future you.
Hi there, I hope you enjoyed your day at Poosh Your Wellness. I am Christina Olivia Hernandez, and we are closing today with an intention-setting cacao ceremony, and we hope you'll join us. This is actually a cacao pod here. So inside the cacao pod, you can find about 20 to 50 cacao beans, and that's where your chocolate comes from, where the cacao comes from. The Mayans, the Aztecs, and the Olmecs before them have been using cacao for ceremonial purposes, for medicinal purposes, for shamanic purposes, for healing purposes. So it's really beautiful. It's considered heart medicine, so you can literally feel your heart opening up when you sit with this plant. So when you have cacao in its pure form, it's actually beautiful, gentle, and heart-opening plant medicine. It's actually what chocolate is derived from. And when you have it in its pure form, it retains all those living enzymes, all of the beautiful healing and health properties. So you have things like magnesium that relaxes your muscles, it feeds your brain. You have anandamide, which is considered the bliss molecule, and that gives us this sense of euphoria, which makes you feel really good on a physical level.
Are there a variety of ways that you can use it? Like I have a sweet tooth, so can you use it in a bunch of different things? Or
in everything. You can put it in your desserts. You can have it as a replacement for coffee in the mornings, put it on your smoothies, in your smoothies.
It's similar to caffeine or coffee. How does it make us go to sleep?
So it has theobromine, right? So that's what's giving you that energizing effect. It doesn't have as much caffeine like coffee does.
Can you talk to us about the ceremony and then what the recipe for the ceremonial cacao?
The recipe we're using today, so per serving is 1 ounce of ceremonial cacao, the cacao magic. We'll be using cinnamon, cayenne, natural sweetener like monk fruit and coconut sugar, and a little coconut milk as well.
Yeah.
Delicious.
You can also find the full recipe on poosh.com.
Okay, so let's begin.
I know which one I want.
Of course, yours is most full.
And you can just bring it to your heart already. So since today's theme was all about your future you, we're going to set our intentions for your future self. So let's have our eyes closed for this part of ceremony. And just taking a few deep breaths together, inhaling through the nose. And you can exhale through the mouth, maybe even sighing out loud. And noticing how the breath brings us into our body and into the present moment. Set an intention for your future self, knowing that we've come together today to connect to our future. And you can speak your intention out loud or whisper your intention to your cacao. Okay, we can open our eyes now. So would anybody like to share their intentions?
So I would really like to focus on the present and not worrying so much about the past, but setting goals for the future while really enjoying the moment.
Love that.
Being present in the present.
So beautiful, thank you.
I think mine is just being about more mindful about my energy. I take a lot of people's energy on, so I think kind of just, keeping my energy to myself and guarding from bad energy. Yeah, because I get really affected by it, so trying to be more.
Yes, mine is to not stress what's not in my control and to go with the flow, and everything will work out, and just to stay positive.
So good.
Love it.
Mine is that, and also working on being less reactive and everything else.
Mine is saying yes more.
Oh, that's a good one.
I like that.
Mine is, well, all of these, of course, but then also focusing on dating a little bit more.
Yes.
Having more of a work-life balance.
It's all about your heart, so we can all bring in more love in this
Exactly.
ceremony.
Be more open.
Be more open.
I love it.
And I'd say
Do you
for
want
me,
to tell us?
just to open my heart with others, right? And share this ancestral medicine. For me, this is my plant and ancestral medicine, so it means the world to share with you all. So thank you for coming here.
Thank you.
I feel like I'm getting affected by
Yeah, you are. Finally. That's what it is. Finally. Yay. Are you gonna cry?
Go
She's emotional.
Oh, I love it. I wish. Oh, and that's what it does. And like, welcome it all. And that's the whole.
Let's tape this. Let's tape this.
Yeah, good. Just
Oh my God.
I love it. I wish it's so normal. So cute.
She needs a hug, Ron.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting.
I'm laughing and
It's so beautiful.
I don't know what's
No, it
happening
happened
with
to
the tears,
me.
but
Same when we were like sipping it. I like started to get emotional.
It helps you to feel more in your body, right? We said like to feel more deeply. So
we
you get
can't
to
use
feel.
all of
We
that.
are definitely using that.
That's the best part of it.
I was like, keep
Thank
filming.
you.
I don't know what that was. It just like,
It was just all the
energy.
emotion.
Honestly, just felt like energy. It wasn't like a sadness or anything like that. It just felt like energy.
overwhelmed emotions.
That's
But it was like happy,
Yeah.
and then I don't know where the tears came from.
Sometimes
tears
can be happy too.
Yeah,
doesn't always have to be sad. 100%. So let's just close our eyes once again and take a nice deep inhale in. Exhale. Just relax here. Allow your breaths to relax your muscles. So raising our glasses to our future selves, raising them up, giving thanks. Saying Matiosh. Matiosh means thank you in Mayan. Matiosh, and we can drink together with our eyes closed. And we drink in those intentions that we have for ourselves so we can become the embodiment of our intentions. So let's open our eyes, coming back into the space. And I'd like to speak on gratitude a little bit, right? Gratitude is the highest vibration that we can be at. And this is so powerful for our tools of manifesting and magnetizing what we want to have more in our lives. And the reason this is because it is saying to yourself, saying to the universe that you are fully worthy and deserving of having everything that you desire and everything that you deserve. You're saying that you love yourself unconditionally and you are fully worthy. So not only just speaking on gratitude or thinking about gratitude, but actually feeling it viscerally in your body.
So feeling grateful for your present moment so you can manifest better for your future self.
Exactly that.
Full circle.
Exactly.
Well, we're so grateful that you're here today, and this was so beautiful and the perfect way to wrap up Poosh Your Wellness, Future You. So thank you.
Matiosh.
Matiosh.
Matiosh. Yay.